Agents, welcome to level 8.9a Star Life Cycle. Today's mission is to describe how stars are born, how they change over time, and how scientists classify stars using the HR diagram. Here is the big question for this level. Do all stars end the same way? The answer is no. Some stars fade out, some stars explode, some become white dwarfs, some become neutron stars, and some become black holes. But the key to the whole mission is this: a star's mass determines its life cycle. Before we jump into the diagram, let's set up the mission. By the end of this video, you should be able to do three things. First, describe the major stages in the life cycle of a star. Second, explain how a star's mass affects its final stage. Third, use the HR diagram to classify stars by brightness, temperature, color, and size. So as you watch the video, keep looking for patterns. In science, diagrams are not just pictures, they are maps. Today we are going to read two maps: the life cycle of a star diagram and the HR diagram. Let's start simple. A star is a huge sphere of hot gas that gives off light and energy. Stars are mostly made of hydrogen and helium. Inside a star, gravity pulls matter inward. At the same time, energy from the nuclear fusion pushes outward. That balance is important. Nuclear fusion is the process where hydrogen atoms combine to form helium, releasing a huge amount of energy. That energy is why stars shine. So when we talk about a star's life cycle, we are really talking about how a star forms, how long it produces energy, and what happens when it runs out of fuel. Now, let's enter the life cycle of a star diagram. Most star life cycle diagrams begin with the nebula. A nebula is a large cloud of gas and dust in space. Think of it as a star nursery. It is the starting zone. Gravity begins pulling the gas and dust together. As the material collects, it forms a protostar. A protostar is not a full star yet. It is a developing star. The temperature and pressure are increasing, but the nuclear fusion has not yet stabilized. So on the diagram, the first part usually looks like this: nebula and then protostar. That means the star is forming. After the protostar becomes hot and dense enough, nuclear fusion begins. That is when the star enters the main sequence stage. The main sequence is the longest stage of a star's life. That is where the star spends most of its time. During this stage, hydrogen is being fused into helium in the star's core. Our sun is currently a main sequence star. So if you're looking at a life cycle diagram, the main sequence is the stable stage. The star is shining, producing energy and balancing gravity with outward pressure from fusion. Now, this is the most important part of the diagram. After the main sequence stage, the life cycle path splits. Why? Because stars do not all have the same mass. A low or medium mass star follows one path. A high mass star follows a different path. So when you look at the diagram, do not just memorize stages. Look for the split. That split is showing you that the mass determines the star's ending. That is the key idea for this activity today. Mass affects how much fuel a star has, how fast it uses that fuel, and what final stage it ends up in. Let's follow the low or medium mass path first. A low or medium mass star starts in a nebula, becomes a protostar, enters the main sequence, and later expands into a red giant. A red giant forms when the star begins to run out of hydrogen fuel in its core. The outer layers expand and the star becomes larger and cooler on the outside. After that, the star releases its outer layers into space. This can form a planetary nebula. The core that remains becomes a white dwarf. A white dwarf is a small, hot, and dense. It no longer produces energy through fusion like a main sequence star. So the low or medium mass path looks like this: nebula, protostar, main sequence, red giant, planetary nebula, and finally a white dwarf. That is the path our sun is expected to follow. Now let's follow the high mass star path. A high mass star also begins in a nebula. It becomes a protostar and then enters the main sequence. But because it has more mass, it has much more intense life cycle. After the main sequence stage, a high mass star expands into a supergiant. Eventually, the core collapses and the star explodes in a supernova. A supernova is a powerful explosion that happens near the end of a mass star's life cycle. After the supernova, the leftover core may become a neutron star or a black hole. If the core is extremely dense but not massive enough to become a black hole, it can become a neutron star. If the core has enough mass and the gravity is strong enough, it can collapse into a black hole. So the high mass path looks like this: a nebula, a protostar, a main sequence, a supergiant, a supernova, a neutron star, or a black hole. Now let's pause for a checkpoint. If you're reading a star life cycle diagram, ask yourself, where does the star begin? Where does the path split? What happens to a low or medium mass star? What happens to a high mass star? And what determines the final stage? The answer is mass. Mass determines whether the star becomes a white dwarf, a neutron star, or a black hole. Now we are unlocking the second map, the HR diagram. The life cycle of a star diagram shows how stars change over time. The HR diagram helps scientists classify stars. HR stands for Hertzsprung-Russell. You do not have to memorize the names for this lesson, but you do need to understand what the diagram shows. The HR diagram classifies stars using patterns in brightness, temperature, color, and even size. Let's read the HR diagram like a game map. The vertical axis usually shows brightness or luminosity. Stars higher on the diagram are brighter. Stars lower on the diagram are dimmer. The horizontal axis shows temperature. But here is the part that students often miss. Temperature usually decreases from left to right. That means the hottest stars are on the left and the coolest stars are on the right. So if you see a star on the left side of the HR diagram, it's hotter. And if you see a star on the right side, it's cooler. Star color is connected to temperature. Blue stars are the hottest. White and yellow stars are in the middle. Red stars are cooler. This may feel a bit backwards because we're often thinking of red as hot and blue as cold. But with stars, blue means hot and red means cold. So on the HR diagram, blue stars are usually on the left. Red stars are usually on the right. That is one of the easiest ways to read the HR diagram quickly. Now, let's look at the regions of the HR diagram, the major regions. The main sequence star forms a diagonal band across the diagram. Most stars are found here because stars spend most of their lives in the main sequence stage. Hot, bright main sequence stars are toward the upper left. Cooler, dimmer main sequence stars are toward the lower right. Giants and supergiants are usually found higher on the HR diagram because they are very bright. Red giants are cool but bright, so they often toward the upper right of the diagram. White dwarfs are hot but dim, so they are usually toward the upper left. That means location matters. If a star is on the diagram, it's bright. If it's low, it's dim. If it's on the left, it's hot. And if it's on the right, it's cool. Boss level time. Here is your challenge. A star is blue and very bright. Where would it be on the HR diagram? Next, a star is red and bright. What type of star could it be? And most importantly, why do some stars become white dwarfs while others become neutron stars or even black holes? Use this answer stem in the comments below. A star's final stage depends on its mass because you'll even get bonus points if you use some of the vocab. Nebula, main sequence, red giant, supergiant, supernova, white dwarf, neutron star, black hole, brightness, temperature, and even HR diagram. Drop your answer below before the next level loads. All right, agents, mission complete. You just unlocked the life cycle of a star's and HR diagram. Come back to this video when you need to review 8.9a. And make sure you answer the boss level question in the comments. I am the Interventionist. Please don't forget to like the video, share, comment. We'll see you next time. The Interventionist, and I'm out.